Hi there, I have an amazing new toy which I've actually built myself. It's this geometry here. It's actually called a Magic Taurus rotating ring. We'll turn it around in a minute. I just want you to appreciate this shape here because it has 32 triangles on it. It has 32 options. So really what this is going to give you is a Taurus tarot reading. So before I give you all the information and the data relating to the Taurus ring, I want you to think of a number from 1 to 32 because there's 32 triangles here, 32 options. So just before we even start, think of any number now, 1 to 32, write it down, remember it. And at the end of this 15-minute presentation, I will reveal to you your message. But let's have a look at how this was created. So, well, first of all, as I turn it inside out, see how it rotates and it turns inside out? It's because every tetrahedron is made up of 4 numbers, and any tetrahedron that I hold adds up to 66. So let's write this down. So there's 8 actual tetrahedra. So every tetrahedron adds up to 66. So an example would be 1 plus 30 plus 7 plus 28. And if I hold the next one, it's 66. They're all 66. So what that means is that if I join 2 tetrahedra together, like I have here, that means the sum of all those 8 triangles here or there or here must add up to double 66, which is 132. Now, what's interesting about 66 is that there's a reference to the sacred Islamic number for the name of God. So in our numerology, we have A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. But in the ancient Arabic, A for Allah, A was 1, Aleph, and then the L, Lam. Lam was 30, but there's 2 L's, Lam, so it's 30 and 30, and the He, the final H, is a 5. So 1 plus 30 plus 30 plus 5 added up to 66. And the way Allah is written is from the right to the left. It looks like the hand. Like when you look at the hand, you've got A, L, Allah. And that's why you'll see Muslim people wearing the hand on a necklace, because it's the name of the Lord. But I just found that interesting that the number 66 was the dominant reference to this Taurus ring. In North Africa, there's a group of people called the Tolbas, and they're like the shamans, and to ward off evil, they made this same magic Taurus to not just ward off evil, but also to invoke wealth, because you could program these harmonic numbers, because it's ringing a bell. The fact, if it didn't all add up to 66, 66, 66, it means that it's harmonically attuned. They're not just random numbers. This is a tuned, highly tuned circuit of the highest order. Now, if I was to add up all the numbers from 1 to 32, if I was to add up every single number from 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 all the way up to 32, it would add up to this number here called 528. Well, according to Leonard Horowitz, who did a lot of research on harmonics, he's saying that the 528 hertz, 528 cycles per second, has a lot to do with the repairing damaged DNA. And the reason why they're excited about 528 is that it's part of 18 triplets called the Solfeggio Scale. So if you look at the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is how we communicate the numbers on the phone pad, we can see that the central column is 258. So I've drawn it here, 258. But we're allowed to form anagrams of 258. So I can say, well, we can go 528 or 825, but we're focused on 528 hertz. You can see 369, 147, but you can go this way as well and go diagonal. So this is a very big topic, because not all scientists agree that how can the phone pad of 9 numbers be rearranged to form these triplets, and that they relate to harmonics and frequencies. So there's a huge discussion going on saying, is it authentic or is it just quasi knowledge? So just wanted to let you know that 528 hertz is interesting, and that the sum of all these numbers on the Taurus ring is 528. So that's interesting. Jacob, this is if you go into the biblical times, there's lots of reference to 66 where Yaqub, his name is Yaqub, but we call it Jacob, just like Joseph is, we say Yusuf, Yosef, but Jacob's family had 66 persons, and when they came into Egypt, they were a community of 66 people, and that's from Genesis 46, verse 26. There are many, many references to 66. And I'll just give you one more reference. For some reason, mathematicians, they love looking for repetition, for patterns. So if I take the reciprocal of 66, that means I divide 66 into 1. So if you get your calculator out, it's a decimal, goes 0.0151, then it goes 515, 151, 515. So that goes forever. So when you put 3 dots, it means that sequence of 151, 515, 151 goes forever. And when we add up the sum of 151 plus the 515, which are the triplets that are repeating, it adds up to 666. So there's another reference to the 66 because it's in the 666 there. And that has a lot to do with the magic square of the sun. So there's a magic square of the sun where all the numbers from 1 to 36, this is a 4 by 4, but magic squares have fascinated people for thousands of years. So the sum of all the numbers from 1 to 36 has all the columns and rows adding up to 111. So I've got a lot more to share with you about the magic squares, but the reason why I'm telling you that this is a sun code is that mathematicians would want to make a magic square that adds up to 66. So if we believe that 66 was a sacred number because of the Taurus ring, normally I would start at 1. So if I'm going to create a magic square of 3, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll draw the pattern actually. It goes 1 to 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7's down, 8 across, and then I go to 9. So if I follow that exact pattern of the magic square, I'm going to start where the 1 is. I'm going to start from 18. So if I go 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, I'm following the same pattern. I end up with a magic square that all adds up to 66, 66 and the diagonals. So this would be known as a talisman, something that we would wear on our body for protection and for wealth or to invoke love, because it's ringing a bell. So so all of this information, and there's a lot more, all of this information is embedded in a geometry that's ringing the bell of 66 or 132. And it turns itself inside out, and it's pure connection. And so what I'd like to do is to show you now how you can build your own one, so that when we do this tarot reading, you'll understand how this can be formed. So first of all, I'm going to show you how I started off. This is called a net. So these are the 32 numbers here, arranged in triangles. But for me to construct that, we did a course on the seed of life. So the seed of life, see these 6 petals here? So because the radius of the circle, if you just draw circles, just by knowing the radius of the circle, it's unchanged. I just do some arcs. So all the way my radius is unchanged. So these hexagonal petals allows me to draw the straight lines through here. But what's critical is that this is a form of origami, which means when I fold all this up, see these red lines here? These red lines are where you fold the other way. So all the black lines here is where you fold, say, in. But where you see the red lines, if you don't listen to this part, you won't be able to construct it. You have to fold the other way. And notice I've put all these tabs here, like there's A, B, C, D. Some are on the inside and some are on the outside. So you have to create these little tabs. Now, so when I started drawing this for the first time, I was trying to join A. So A is a tab here, and there's an A on the edge there. So I started off with A to A. So let's look at the next one. So when I tried to fold it all together, it wouldn't join, because what happened was I started from B to B. So you must learn to listen to instructions. So to get this drawn correctly, you have to make it like a snake, like a linear line of tetrahedra, and then you join at the very end. At the very end you join A to A, and then you'll see that when it forms, I form a tetrahedron there, and then this just turns inside out. But this one, was done with very thick cardboard, and this one was done with cardboard a bit thinner, like a manila folder. So if you're going to make this at home, my advice is don't work with like 600 GSM, work with something like traditional manila folder so that it can fold easily. And then each one of these I joined with glue inside, or you could use sticky tape. So I just wanted to share with you that that's the way to make your torus ring. So now, and you could make several of these. So the first one would be an experiment, and then when you do your second one, you would have fine-tuned the geometry to draw it precisely. And remember I said to you, choose a number now. We're going to do the Sacred Geometry Tarot reading. Where we have all these numbers, you can write, you can have the numbers, but you might put love, forgiveness, education, remembrance, forgiveness. You can write what you want onto your triangles because they're going to appear on the torus ring. So, so everyone, I'll put this down, and so we're going to just enter this Sacred Geometry Tarot reading, which is an original idea of mine, and I want to make this available. So first of all, remember what your number was from 1 to 32, and lock it in. You've got your number. This is your message for the day. So what I've done is I've written 2 columns of positive and negative numbers. So all the 1, 3, 5, all the odd numbers are positive things like love, forgiveness, let go, surrender, wealth. And all the even numbers are could be like a hurricane or attend to your health or protection. So I'll just hold this for a second so that you can you can pause this at any time. So if your number was 17, you can read this and say, oh, it's victory, success, or 15 would be power. But the reason I'm showing you this is that this was just done randomly with a group of people. You can make your own chart of 32 options as well. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. It's so this is the power of a toy. So even though this is something that we actually play with, and you may not believe in tarot, but I believe that everything is frequency and resonance, so that for you to think of a number 1 to 32, your higher self already knows in the unified field, in the cosmic field, you already know what your message is. So, but because we're in this physical realm, there's some kind of barrier. But so I believe that we're not pretending to be an oracle. I'm just saying that there is a higher aspect to our mind, and if we're going to tune into the fields that surround our body, like onion shells, the higher astral levels and the cosmic levels, by working with sacred geometry and special pyramids where all the numbers are the same, we have more chance of connecting to the higher self in a way. So this is just an interesting way of playing with shape and words and combining them to give us communication and messages. So if I had to give this another name, I would just call it harmonic 6-6, because 6 is a fundamental number. Remember, when we have a coin or a circle, we know that 6 coins always surround the 1. So there's something 6 represents about perfected order. And it's a key also to atomic structure, because the 6 around the 1 makes carbon 7, which is the future in technology. So I hope you enjoyed this knowledge on the torus. And again, the torus appears all the time. It's one of these fundamental forms. So when we joined all these 32, these 8 tetrahedron, we didn't know that it was actually we didn't know that this ring of tetrahedron was actually going to join and connect and make a sacred geometry shape. So that's why we play with numbers, and that's why we research, and that's why we give respect to this language of shape and pattern recognition. Thank you.